Okay. Hello everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope we are all doing fine. So today's session is going to be moderated by Ivana, who's not yet here. But for those of us who are here, thank you so much for being part of the session. As we wait on for others that will join us, or others that will find a recording. Yes, Ivana is here. Yeah, Ivana, you're most welcome. We have been waiting on for you for the session to take us through today's session, just to moderate it on mental health. Yeah, so maybe before Ivana comes in, once again, guys, Film Chat is all about conversations, all about uh, creatives getting better in their fields, getting better in their aspect, rather like their fields of expertise, those who are emerging, and also those who are already in the industry, to help us budge or rather close that gap between the emerging filmmakers and also those that are already there in the industry. Yeah, so we're almost into our last sessions to really close off this edition of this interaction as we see now what the future holds for us. So allow me to ask um, Nelson to lead us in a prayer as I hand over to Ivana. Nelson, are you there? Are you there, Nelson? Okay, I think Nelson is not there. Nelson is not there, so I'll lead the prayer. Lead some of us wherever we are. Um, Oh Lord, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for everything you're doing for us as creatives, as young people, as people who love cinema in wherever we are. We pray, Lord, that you guide us in today's session, whatever we shall discuss, whatever we will be able to talk about. It would be able to help us better the industry in our respective countries, in our respective regions, and the career at large. Thank you so much, and we praise and glorify you through Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. Ivana, are you there? Are you ready to start?
Hi, Brian. Yeah, I think I'm good now. My network was a bit up and down.
All right, you are welcome. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me just share the slides for you. Oh, you're able to share the slides.
No, I'm not. My network will disappoint me.
Okay.
Just do it from your end, and then yeah, I will just follow.
All right. I think you can start the discussion as I look for the slides.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Ivana. I'm Ivana Kato Ivana, because most people know me as Ivana. I am a talk show host, an actress. I do music. I'm a voiceover artist, journalist, and so to me, mental health topic is something I'm passionate about because personal things to it. I won't say as a creative because generally, as most of you who started this chat, I think we need to introduce ourselves, and I didn't mention that.
Ivana, we lost you. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes. So I don't know where you lost me at.
After the introduction, your talk show host, actress. Yeah, I think that's what lost you.
Yes. I was talking about, I did share about my story, briefly about myself. I think in the second session of the film chat. So my story on mental health is, I don't want to say as a creative, I've gone through mental health challenges as a creative, but generally as an individual. For those who know me, who have been following me from way back, I'm born and I'm living with HIV. So I was born and I'm living with HIV. So I've had my fair share of mental health challenges. One, as a young mother, as someone born and living with HIV, and also in relationships as a creative, in the work that I do, So, yeah. But today we are just talking about mental health as filmmakers. And I want this session to just be, for it to be very open and interactive, because what you go through as an individual is not what I go through. What you experience is not what I've experienced. So I think for me, I love using experiences, sharing stories, about my journey. And I think one of the moments as a creative that I realized the industry is not for the weak is when I really wanted to join this band. And by then, there is a prominent band in town that they used to work with that other band that I wanted to join. So the fact that that person knew my status because we knew each other as childhood friends, they felt insecure and she had to go and told all the guys, because she was the only girl, she told them, no, she cannot be in our circle. She's HIV positive. They can't see us with her. So everyone, like, really, even those who didn't even know about me, because my story is everywhere. When you Google, you'll find it. So to me, I think this is the year I really started embracing the creative side of myself, because I think I've spent like 6 years out of the industry, out of the acting, out of music, out of voicing, because I was really, really hurt by that experience. And I was like, you know what? So the person who told me was the owner of the band and told me the environment will not be favorable for you, because we were long time friends as well. But these guys didn't know that I was a friend to the owner of the band. So he told me what had transpired. But I felt like, well, maybe that's what how the industry is. And then for the acting, I think why I had stopped acting for some really good years is because I had started getting roles that were attached to my status, and I wanted to detach myself from it. It's not that I didn't want, like, I'm really proud of who I am and my story. Not proud of HIV, but I'm proud of who I am and my story. But the first movie that introduced me into acting was a movie I did on HIV, and I was the main actress. And it like I didn't mind doing it, but the more producers or directors knew about me, they always contact you for, hey, we're having an HIV project, would like you to be part of it. So for me, I felt like you only need me when there is an HIV project. It's not that it's bad. I don't mind doing them, but now I am trying to really change that, So it also had a lot that went through in that project. One, I was someone who had just come out, because that was 2013. Me and my twin sister had come out publicly, and that was through a blackmail. Imagine someone blackmailing you, and it was a close friend, a close person, and they blackmailed us, telling us we are going to tell your story, but we didn't even know because he was using a different number. And then we would come back with that particular person and talk to them and tell them, we have this is going on, what should we do? And they would give you the advice that they want you to do. Then they would go back, get the other number line, put it in their phones, and start from there. So we were wondering, how are they getting all this information? But it was a friend who was really blackmailing us, until in 2014 we decided to go to we didn't decide, it was an opportunity. So 2013 was a very, very tough year. We lost our mom on Christmas Day. We went through that blackmail. It was going on. So 2014, we happened to go to an HIV/AIDS conference, and that's when we met like different young people who were very open with their status, and we're like, okay, like this, that's actually what helped me get into acting, because I was like, I want a space where I'll be able to just embrace different personalities. Like, I am not a thief, but I would want to act like a thief. I'm not a murderer, but I would want to, what goes on in the minds of murderers. So for me, acting has always been what happened. Like, I just want to experience the other side of life that I am not as an individual. So when we went, we came back and we're like, you know what, this blackmailer is telling everyone. Literally, he even posted on social media, and that was our first time actually we disclosed in 2014. We came back, my sister had gotten a cute t-shirt that had HIV positive, just a cute word written on it. Was really well designed. It had HIV positive. So she told me, just take a picture of me. I took the picture, and I was like, Next thing I see, she had posted it. She was in Chambogo and I was studying at a college in Jesubi. So we had just lost our mom. We had to go through school. It was a lot mentally. It was a lot. We have not had like those really good family backgrounds that I say openly. We haven't had a very, very good family background. But we did it because we were like, we didn't have to ask for consent from anyone. It's our life. So she put it up there, and then the amount of insults we got on social media and the amount of people embracing us, people were opening up. And actually, it was funny that high school students were opening up more, telling us about, hey, I'm having, I contracted this, I contracted HIV, but I need your guidance on this. My parents do not know. And that is how we started actually our community advocacy. So mental health has always been like a topic that I'm passionate about, but it took me a while to realize that this is what mental health looks like. I think it's 2 years back when I realized, when I tried to take my life, that was an issue, that was a problem, that was a mental health challenge. I didn't even know what depression was. I thought it's normal. And I remember one day I was, I think, watching a podcast, and Oprah mentioned that she went to South Africa, and they told her in Africa, we don't have mental health. I mean, we don't experience mental health challenges. Yeah. So she was like, it was like black people don't get depressed. There is no time for to get depressed. So for me, I've always been passionate about it. And that project, the first project that I did in acting, that I was part of in acting, really opened my eyes to what filmmakers go through. Of course, I'm speaking from the side of the cast, but I believe the crew also goes through so much, because when we talk about mental health challenges, it's always associated to us, the actors, because we have our own share. But I would also want to know from the guys behind the camera, the directors, the producers, the sound engineers, all those people, how does it affect you? So I just want us to have a very open discussion. If you have anything to share, kindly raise up your hand or just ask for, the microphone. If you, especially the experiences, I would want to understand what are some of the experiences that as filmmakers you have gone through, especially as an individual, before we generalize the industry. What are some of the experiences as African filmmakers? If anyone has something to share, please. I don't know if anyone has anything to share at the moment, or maybe later on. Okay, so I think I just made a few notes here for my presentation just to guide the conversation. Nurturing mental health in African filmmaking, is a collective responsibility. Filmmaking in Africa comes with unique challenges. We should learn to prioritize mental health and well-being and create supportive communities. So the way mental health is perceived on our end as the Africans is not the way it's perceived in the Western world. In the Western world, I think they are very, very open. I think I'm not sure how true that is, but I've heard a story about the movie, The Joker, the actor. that movie actually depressed me and the people I was watching it with. And I was wondering, how do you pull off such a character from beginning to end and you don't get depressed? I don't know how it's done here, if we do have those mental health talks in our productions, on our production set. Do we have those conversations? Is it something you openly, as a filmmaker, you can openly talk to someone about? Because we've realized that, yes, in Africa, things are different. You don't have time to get depressed. Especially if you have been a single mom before, you understand what I'm saying. Like, time to get depressed is not there. But you eventually, you get depressed. I also engaged with a therapist once, and I asked them, how do you, like, you're having all these stories about, I mean, you're having all these people telling you their stories. What about you? What happens at the end of the day? Because you're carrying so much. And they told me, you don't even want to know what we go through after those sessions on a daily. So one thing that I realized is we are afraid of seeking for help as filmmakers. We are of talking about certain things, and I do understand why. Sometimes you might talk about something because it's always attached, you know. There are always things that trigger us on our production, in our productions. There are always things that trigger. We've had stories of girls being used to get big roles. So imagine mentally, how are you going to give a service to get what you want? We've had stories of financial constraint. I think it was in COVID when I heard about a filmmaker who had, I don't know if he had committed suicide or he had just died. So I didn't really get the whole story, but everyone was wondering, like, he has been a happy person. What happened? These are conversations that we do not get to talk about openly as filmmakers. Do we even have those spaces? When you're at a production, in your productions, is it a safe space? As the producer, as the director, is it safe for me, the actress, to come and talk to you about something that is maybe affecting me? So maybe we can also talk about some of the challenges that filmmakers do face, some of the mental health challenges that they face, things that cause, us to get into that world. You understand? One that we all know is the depression. The other is and of course depression is caused by very many things. Low self-esteem. You'll be on a set and teweki is you're like, no, this is not working for, I mean, this is not, you just don't feel like you are delivering, but yet the audience is really praising you out there, but you just don't feel it. Sometimes we experience that. Sometimes we have like anxiety and panic attacks. I think Brian mentioned something, not that anxiety, but mentioned something about being on set and you are just lost, lost in the blue. You are working on something and you just don't know, like, what path am I taking? Like, we all face that all the time. And the most important thing is for us to understand that you are not alone. You just need to find someone to talk to, because the more you share about a problem that you're going through, the more you get, you understand that always a solution. There's always a solution for everything that you are going through. Yeah, so is there anyone who has something to say before we proceed? Especially personal experiences, because that's why we are here.
Yeah, I would like to share something also. Um,
Yes,
so can you hear me?
yes, please.
Yeah, so I'm Zaire from Tanzania. So coming from Tanzania, I've experienced different kind of emotional journey as a filmmaker. For example, um, um, the industry here in our country is not like
I
collaborative
think the microphone is on and
like the
off.
country. Yeah,
I can't seem to get you clearly.
do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was saying, like, sometimes you get these. The industry here in Tanzania is it's not so much collaborative as you guys like Uganda and the countries as I'm saying. I'm saying this because um for instance, me, I'm as a filmmaker, I'm just trying to, as a young filmmaker, I'm just trying to pursue my career. But um, my family also don't understand what I'm doing. Like, they don't know what are you doing. Although I'm doing a lot of stuff, just creating videos, content, or what, but they don't trust this industry because they haven't seen how big it is as I am, as I see as I'm collaborating with guys. So that also creates sense of pressure in us, um, as we are pursuing our careers, our dreams. But back at the place at our homes, people see you as doing nothing. That's very stressful. So sometimes you experience something like that. But also, um, pursuing a career, sometimes challenges may occur. Maybe the projects may fail, or, or something like that. So when it comes to the situation and you have no like a good family background and, for example, good background to back you up whenever you have lost, it's very difficult. So you have to cope up with the stress, and you have to cope up with all the losses and get back to the game and just do your stuff and get back. So those moments like that create pressure and create some sort of anxiety to the other young filmmakers. For instance, young filmmakers. I am as like me, so um, I think having the community like this also helps because I hope we can at least share at least what we have to go through, what we're going through as a creatives. So yeah, that's a little bit comment about from my side, and yeah, hopefully you get some what I've got to say. Sorry for my English because I'm Swahili
It's
speaker,
okay.
so my English is not
Yeah,
good,
we
but I hope
understand you perfectly.
yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing that.
yeah,
And I think as creatives, it's one of the hardest thing to convince your, especially young people who are getting out of university or school or whatever you might call it. It's very hard convincing your family. And I think that's one of the hardest things and one of the most painful things is you really want the support, but no one sees the vision the way you see it. No one sees the vision the way you see it. So there are very few parents who will have your back in what you're doing, and you have to prove to them, not those, but the parents like ours. You have to prove to them like a lot that this is what I want, and I'm going to fight for it. And I do hear you when you say it comes with a lot of stress, a lot of depression. And of course, we would like to hear from other people. How have you dealt with that, especially the producers, directors? How have you been able to penetrate through? Because here we look at people, who are making it to the top, but everyone has a story to share. Everyone has a story that you just sit down and listen to. And I think for me, that's one thing that I love about my talk show. I love to listen to people because I was given that opportunity. I had people that sat down and told me, Eva, just talk to me. And I had to open up about what I was going through. And it felt like, you know what, it's okay. It's okay because this industry, it's hard. Let me tell you, in my family, I think all of us, most of us are creatives. And that is something that our parents have never understood. They're like, what is this? What is this? They need to see evidence that, okay, Ivana is doing this. Oh, when they saw my podcast, they're like, oh, okay. Now my dad has just joined TikTok. He's educating young people about business, how to start a business. And he's like, oh, so this is what happened. Okay, this is social media. Oh, but and I also sometimes feel like parents, the fact that, for example, my dad used to love music. He used to have a choir back in the days. his seventh day. So he used to have a choir back in the days, and they would come home and sing. So in his mind, the fact that he diverted from that and achieved, these corporate jobs, I feel like he just wanted, he felt like I lost on this, and I don't think any of my kids should really do this or should get into that area as a career. But now we're surprising him, and we're like, okay, this is, and we don't tell them when we are in the process. No, I tell you when something is done. For example, I just released my first single, my song. I told him after it's done, because I don't want those discouragements. I am not that kind of person who can really, I'm not patient with that anymore. It broke me so much, and it destroyed years of my life because I let people speak too much negativity into my life that it affected a lot of things that I'm just trying to build back up as a person personally. So anyone who tampers with your mental health doesn't wish you well. They say in Uganda we have what we call kuloga. Kuloga is witchcraft. I think someone rather bewitches you, but that doesn't tamper with your mental health. It's something I've witnessed with close people. Someone will come to you and tell you just one word, and that has been done to me several times. But one thing I also learned is that you need to learn to speak up, fight for what you love. If you really feel like this is what I want, because let me tell you, you can do everything in this world, but your passion will always come back to you. It will always come knocking at your door. And that is something I've learned. And if I want something, I'll tell everyone, okay, thank you so much for your suggestions. But yes, I want this. I want this. And that is also something I'm learning as an actress. Like, don't just go to every production house because you're given a project. You're going to act this. No, I inquire. Okay, so what is this about? Where is it going? Those are conversations we need to have, and they shouldn't be like, hey, this person has kajanja. Kajanja is like, oh, you are, I don't know how to phrase that in English, but they feel like you are too proud every time you come out and start speaking out. And something I've experienced, because I reached a point and I had to cut off some friends, I had to cut off family members, and respectfully, because I knew I couldn't tolerate anyone who tampers with my mental health. There are people who just come into your life to just crush you mentally. Mentally. Let me tell you, for me, I've had experiences with my stepmom. I love her so much. But she's not the kind of stepmom who will come and pour a porridge on you. No. She's not the kind of stepmom who will tell you something. I mean, do something. Like, you hear stepmoms have burnt kids. No. She'll feed you, she'll dress you, but she'll torture you mentally. And it took me years to understand that, oh my goodness, all along I have been living like this. And I actually reached a point and I would tell my siblings, you know what, I think I have a problem. And my youngest sibling would tell me, Ivana, you don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. Is that you're letting so many people speak into your life. We love also mentors. I've had stories of mentors who are putting down their mentees. They reach a point and you want to detach yourself from them and just, continue with life respectfully. But I've had those stories, and they're like, oh my goodness, my mentor has become something else. So anything concerning yourself, your dreams, your goals, your children, your family, you have to have the final say. We love pleasing our families, but at the end of the day, it goes back to you. I reached a point and I always told my dad, I want to make you proud. I want to make you proud. I would tell my family, I want to make you guys proud, because I felt like everything I did was never making sense. But I reached a point and I was like, but why am I struggling? What am I struggling for? What am I fighting for? What validation do I need apart from myself? My own validation. So for me, I've learned to handle, not like entirely, I'm still a work in progress, but I've learned that I know certain people that I can't work with, even if you give me 1 million or whatever amount, or gold or silver. There are certain people I'm like, I can never work with this person. And it's not that I don't like you, because I don't even have the energy to hate you, but I want to keep my peace and also keep your peace. I don't want you in my circle. I don't want you in my family's life. I don't want you in my life. I don't even want you on my show because I don't trust the words that you're going to come out of your mouth. So I've learned to let go. And that has been the most challenging thing because you're like, you know what, this is my aunt. But the things they are doing, especially after you lose parents, there are a lot of things that happen. They can torture you mentally until I sat them down and I told them what I had to tell them and told them I'm not a child anymore. This has to stop. Until I also told my stepmom, I had a conversation with, it wasn't even a conversation, it was just a talk that happened abruptly. And I told them, you're not taking me back to where you locked me up years back. You understand? So as a creative, for me, what I would tell you, it's your dream. You see the vision. They will come on board. They will come on board when the time is right. Right now, my dad was calling my sibling, like, oh my goodness, we've heard your song. But no one was believing in that. You would tell someone about something and they're like, Eva, you, you understand? And by then, people would always use it against us. Oh, you're HIV positive. They once told us you can never board planes. But let me tell you something, we have boarded planes more than our other siblings. So for me, one, trust in God, trust in God's plan for your life, and also focus on what the desires of your heart. Don't let anyone get into you. That's why to me, I tell people, don't make decisions for me, just suggest, advise. I'll pick from there what I need. So you have to also have a say. Not everyone will come and tell you what to do, and then you just go with that. No, we love our families, but they will come on board when their time is right. I'm sorry, Brian, I don't think we're even following the presentation, but yeah, thank you because you changed it. Anyone else who would like to talk about the cultural considerations and stigma, especially personal experiences, because that's the best way how we can learn from each other, especially on set. Certain things that happen on set, the manipulations, the exploitations that happen on different sets, you know.
Hi, I can say something.
Yes, please, Finley.
Yeah, so I'd start with the one on set. Okay, but before that, thank you so much, Ivana, for sharing and for encouraging us to talk about this. So for the on-set experience, I'd say that some of the challenges that are there and some that I've experienced include like the anxiety. Brand talked about anxiety a while ago, and some of the time myself, mostly I do directing and a little bit of camera work. So sometimes you get on set and maybe it's a totally new crew, and as a young director, probably they don't believe in you. So it's quite a challenge. You just have to suck it up and deal with your anxiety, but still find a way to deliver through those challenges. Other than that, I'd say the other one I've encountered is financial constraints. I had big challenges with that, especially when I was starting out, and even up to now, quite a bit. There's a time I realized that it was taking a toll on me because I could, the way I used to deal with it, which wasn't really healthy, was to just sleep, just sleep. Yeah, so I realized that was a dark moment for me. The other one I'd say is Zahir talked about like your family not like seeing the value of what you're trying to pursue. Maybe your family and friends can have the perception that this person is really not amounting to anything in life. Like whatever they are chasing here is quite pointless. They should try and find another meaningful career, especially after you've finished maybe your education, you've graduated and all that. Especially for those of us who graduated for different courses and we couldn't find jobs, so we decided to try our art career. So yeah, I'd say mostly that. Another thing, it's also quite challenging when you see your age mates
artists like doing great things out there, like prospering, while you're still here as a creative trying to find your foot and build your career. Yeah, I'd say that much. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those. I think I'll start with the different crew, finding a different crew on set that doesn't believe in what you do. Like we all get that all the time. Trust me. We all get that all the time. And I think it's just nature of human beings. Like you have to first show me what you can do for me to really, really believe in you. But I tell this to people all the time. If you come on to, if I'm a producer, for example, if I'm the producer, and you just come and I'm like, Finley, I don't know if you'll really make it. One, you're discouraging me. You're not giving me the support that I need, and it is your production. So if I don't deliver, it's on you. It's on you. So for me, I've mastered the art of communication. Communication is one of the hardest things. I'm a communicator, but there are certain areas and you're like, oh my goodness, someone will make you doubt what you're doing. And you're like, hey, like what is going on? You just end up second guessing. But one thing I've learned, especially in production, especially that first experience I went through, it was my first time in the movie industry. But I was like, hey, first of all, I was working with someone who was claiming to be an apostle, producer apostle. And I was like, what? I was the main on the cast. The cast was thought I was the producer because I put in so much into that production. I don't even know how much. I can't even estimate. I'm not saying financially, but I put in so much. Like I had just come out publicly. I was doing my advocacy. And of course, the criticism is always there on social media. Everyone will abuse you. Someone once told me, that was a guy we studied with, and told me, I thought by this time you would be driving. You're still using border because this HIV thing has taken you places, but you're still on a border because he thought that we are faking a story. But everything that happened on that set really made me cry because the team, the crew, the cast, they were not paid. They were not paid. They put in so much. And worst of all, they thought I was part of I was in, because he met me first. And then I jumped on board with other people that I were with me. We tried to guide him, you know what, if you're doing a story on HIV, this is what should be done. But of course, he wasn't really buying it. You know, he was like, I'm a filmmaker. Don't tell me that. I'm a filmmaker. So I was like, okay. We took the story to Cote d'Ivoire because we had a conference there, and we carried the story to Cote d'Ivoire. And we're like, maybe if he gets feedback from different people, it will open his eyes. My dear, things didn't change. Worst of all, people were not paid. Next thing we see the story, I mean, the film is doing so well on YouTube. So all the other people, I'm happy that the other people that I met on that set, like they're doing so well in life right now. And I'm so happy as creatives. I am so happy. But that was, I think, the most traumatic experience. My first film and my first introduction to the movie industry. And I was like, no, I don't think I can handle this. It was so bad. I can't even talk about other things. It was so bad. We reached a point and you had to, you go and change costume. And then you'll be like, we've seen very many people change costumes. Like, you're not the first. So I was like, no, I do not undress in front of a producer. I don't do that. So I was like, what am I even doing here? Like, did I make the right decision? Because I really loved it from growing up as a young girl. I really loved it. I would watch actors and I was like, wow, how can you act this movie and you're a bad guy, and this movie you're a good guy, and the other movie you are this? To me, that is what really interested me. But it got so bad and I was like, no way. So what hurt me most is everyone came against me thinking that we had eaten the money with the producer, but I hadn't. I don't even know like where the money, we didn't even have the money, but he eventually got the money. It was bad. So for me, I learned that, when I go onto a new production, I have to sit with the producer, whoever is in charge. I tell them my do's and don'ts. I also talk to my cast, like the one that we're filming now. It's a series, but we have conversations with my cast. I tell them, when I there, please, here you're crossing the boundary. Here, I don't like this. I like this. I don't mind this. I mind this. I tell them up front. I tell them about my scheduling because I realize that also scheduling can just put you into a different kind of state. There is so much intensity when it comes to making films or shooting. That process of filming is, you just find people as if they are mad people. I'm on this set, I'm on this set, I'm on this set. Like the workload is too much that there is no time to rest enough. So maybe that goes back to the producers, probably just to find a flexible time, flexible, a time flexible for everyone to just have their time to rest and just reflect on, okay, the first season is done. What next? What are some of the challenges we've gone through? What am I experiencing? There are some sets and you don't even talk about what you're going through. Like, how? Who are you? Who do you think you are? And for me, I had that mentality that all film sets are bad. Like the crew is always bad to the cast. Has been my mentality over the years. But until I realized, you know what? No, they're just certain people who are making everyone look bad in the industry. So for me, whether you believe in me or not, by the fact that I am on your set, that means you see something in me. You definitely see something in me, and it's something and I told her, you have to learn to speak and set boundaries. Because if you let someone cross over, everyone else will continue. People not believing in you, it doesn't matter. As long as you believe in yourself, and the fact that they have you on their set is enough. You understand? They just want to make it look like, yeah, you know what you're doing. No. Believe in yourself. Deliver exceptionally well. Believe in yourself. Deliver exceptionally well. The financial constraints, I think that is a worldwide problem, especially to African filmmakers. That one, I think I really can't comment on it because I've never produced a film before. But I understand, as someone who has hosted a talk show that requires finances, I hear you and I understand. But one thing I also would advise is, recently I met this lady and she told me, I spent 10 million in this, my film. And I took it to Pearl Magic, they didn't take it. I took it to Wicked, they didn't take it. I took it to those are TV stations in Uganda. I took it to this station. And I was like, okay, like you just spent 10 million in a movie. You felt it was going to work. Yes, because it's your movie. You have to feel that it's going to work. But I think we also need that financial guidance. In music, I see it done in music. Producer can tell you, okay, this song, I think it's going to be a banger. This song, but it might do well. And it eventually does well. But for a movie, someone spending 10 million, and she told me I was frustrated. They don't want to take my movie. Actually, she told me I went to them and they told me, we are going to give you 4M. But I spent 10 million. I told them maybe it's not in the concept. It's not the concept that they want. I don't know. I don't know how things work anyway. But that's what I told her. I told maybe it's not. I told her, you know what, just open up your YouTube channel, put it there. Yes, I put it up there. And it's actually doing so. I told, yes, the right audience was there. But she was so frustrated. She was like, I put in 10 million and people are telling me they're giving me 2 million, 3 million for my movie to air it on their TV. I was like, the industry is not for the weak. But yes, that I believe we need a lot of financial guidance. I don't know which particular people that we could get, but that's something that we can think about. Like, to have that as a creative, how do you balance your money? Because it's some of us do not have like that monthly, as creatives, we don't have that monthly, like, okay, I'm expecting a salary. It's just, okay, I've done this project, it's done well, I'm getting paid. I've done this, it didn't do well, I didn't get paid. How do you balance the little that you have, and how do you plan better for the productions that you're hoping to work on, in the future? So that is something that's how I in my perspective, that's what I think. Secondly, the loss of sleep, that is deep. That is deep. I think I do get that also all the time. When I'm super excited, I lose sleep. When I'm overly anxious, I lose sleep. But I've learned to let go of certain things. This year, I decided that, you know what, I'm getting back into my creative self, and I'm going to learn as much as I can. And I've been juggling different things at the same time. But I reached a point and I'm like, you know what? As a filmmaker, what do you enjoy? As a producer, what do you enjoy? Because I believe as a producer, you have different roles, specific roles. Maybe as a director, maybe as a supervisor, whatever you call it. What do you enjoy? Do you love just sitting there and editing those videos? Is it something that keeps you awake? And I was like, you know what? Let me just find means of getting the money to pay the people who can do what I feel I cannot do, and focus entirely on that. Because I had really, really lost sleep. I couldn't sleep at all for like almost a month, because I was like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to accomplish this. I have a timeline. But then I was like, wait, I'm studying this, but why? What is the end goal? Why am I studying this? Why am I doing this? No, let me focus on this and this. You understand? So we need to also just pick and say, okay, if I'm a writer, let me just write. Because also being too many roles, which of course is inevitable, due to budgets, you find yourself being the producer, the editor, the scriptwriter, and what. But we just need to focus on one thing so that you don't lose yourself. You don't lose yourself in the process. The movie will do well, and yet we will lose you. You will get your movie where the director, the producer, the main actor, the scriptwriter, and you will lose yourself. And your movie will keep on doing well, but we will lose you. It is not worth it. Losing yourself. Nothing in this world is worth losing yourself. So the loss of sleep, that hits home, and I do feel you. Then the family, I think we've talked about the family seeing value in your work. To me, that I don't even care whether they see value. As long as my children, actually, I've interested my kids into watching Power Magic. They follow Damali, they follow Crossroad, they follow, is it Koja? They follow Mama and Me, they follow. So when they see me in maybe one of whichever production, they're like, oh, Mommy, is that you? When did you go and change your clothes to come and act here? So for me, that gives me joy that I am inspiring the right people. I've been trying so hard over the years to inspire the people that were not the right people, the right audience. They'll come on board if they need to. If they don't want it, it's okay. And my kids love it. And I'm happy that I think it's a friend of mine who is on the production of Crossroads, he's really willing to really have me and the kids just go there and they see how it's done. Because they would watch Crossroads, that is Shadow, the guy Shadow, Ezra, and then they would watch Beloved. Yeah, and they would wonder, how did this person run and enter the screen to get into another film? Then they would watch Kaliba in Damali, and then they would come to Crossroads and they watch Dylan, and they're like, I saw he ran quickly and dressed, changed, and plaited his hair. And to me, that gives me so much joy that, okay, this is my audience. This is my first audience, my first cheerleaders. And that is enough. I've learned to be contented with my small audience, the small group of people that cheer me on. The rest of the people will come on board, whether it's my dad, whether it's my stepmom, whether it's my siblings, they will eventually come on board. And I've seen God manifest through it. So that is one thing that I would just tell you, please attract the right audience. Then you talked about, is it the age mates? Oh, looking at the other age mates, your age mates, they are making it in life. I used to have that a lot, especially for women. Everyone would ask you, when are you getting married? When is this happening? But like I said, it is my life. It is my life. I am not the controller. I am partially the controller because I'm a human being. It's God. As long as I have life and I'm breathing and I have like my whole body is intact, I can reach anywhere I put my mind to. And I'm happy that on my list, I don't want to call it a vision board because I haven't had, I have not done my vision board yet, but I've had 3 goals in life, things that I was very passionate about. One was acting, secondly, the talk show, and then the third one has always been my music, but the music always came first, then my talk show, then the acting. But of course, I started with the acting, then the talk show came next, then the music. I'm just starting it. And to me, the fact that I've just released that, I'm like, Ivana, you've done it. You have done it. Like, you've been procrastinating for so long, and it has been as simple as ABC. And you know what is funny? The right people who are willing to help you are there. It's through a producer of mine, because we have been doing advocacy on HIV through music, dance, and drama. And then I was like, but what if I act? I get into acting for different other roles, or I start singing about different other things, and it's not necessarily about HIV or those topics, serious topics. But it just takes one person to believe in you, and that is the producer who I will forever be indebted to. He told me, Ivana, like, you're doing this advocacy, you do it so well. But have you ever thought of just singing? Yes, you do the acting, you've started the talk show. Have you ever thought of it? Just do it. He wrote me the song that I've just released. And I was like, what was like, why did I need so many people to just cheer me on and tell me, you can do it? Why do I need so many approvals? I just needed one person, and there is always help. The help is there. The help is there. I had just one person to believe. I just needed one person to believe in me. When I started my talk show, they said, she has left her job. I left the job because of other reasons, but I was like, you know what? I want to start this show, because I had started it before, but it wasn't. It slipped out of my hands. It became the organization's show. So every time I would meet people, they would tell me, but this and this and that. And I was like, this is not the vision I had for my talk show. And I started it this year. But let me tell you, the support is there. People are waiting for you. People are there. There are people who are rooting for you. And it's just a friend and one of my siblings who said, just share the link before we even started putting out the episodes. They said, just put it there. You will see people are going to subscribe. Trust me. I put it up today, and tomorrow I already had 12 subscribers. Just like that. People started subscribing even before the episodes were out. And I was like, why do we always have to look for family? Why do we always have to get validation from the closest people that don't even see the value in us? So for me, I've learned to take my time, do what I love, front what I like, and learn to say no and yes to what I really like. To me, that it's okay. It's okay if I'm not on your level. That's okay. If you're not on my level, it is okay. My journey is different. Your journey is different. We've seen kids who are doing TikTok videos. Is it we've also seen the dad and the son who are dancing. It's just something that happened. Do you think God was stupid that if God didn't know that this was going to become probably their biggest moment in life? It's something that the dad would have started a long time ago. But why is he starting it now? The other example that I've just seen in just like a few weeks is my dad. He just jumped onto TikTok, started his videos. I was like, hey, Dad, you're serious? Yes. I'm just educating people about business. I was like, that's good. And in just one day, he got 1,000 followers. I think it was 1,000 or 100 followers. And his video hit 40,000 views in just 3 days. So I was like, sometimes we just stress about these things and we let people get into our heads. And sometimes it's us causing our own mental health challenges, trust me, because we're trying to be so perfect at everything that we do. And for me, well, guilty as charged, I'm a perfectionist in one or the other. But sometimes you just think about, okay, how is this really, you're just putting too much effort, and then someone just comes and does it. And you're like, what have I been waiting for? And then you have to really take accountability for that. So for me, one thing I learned is I sat down, I talked to myself, Ivana, what happened? Why are you in this state? Because everyone wasn't believing when I told them, you know what, these guys have made me turn into the monster, because it got so bad that I couldn't even recognize myself anymore. But then I sat myself and I realized this is my life. Do you know what is so painful? That the people who are torturing you mentally are moving on. Their lives are moving on. They don't care about you. They just come to check up on you. Okay, Finley. Okay. Okay, he's still where I want him to be. But I learned to speak. I learned to speak. And that's why for me, I tell everyone, I don't bow to disrespect. Don't disrespect me. I had friends who would even disrespect me in front of my kids. And I was like, guys, no. So what I did, I also disrespected them, but I disrespected them in front of the kids. And I told them, never let anyone do that to you, ever. Because they were wondering, why are you talking to mommy like that? Because they were used. That's the image I gave to them. Okay, you're going to start this. No, don't do it. You have to first consult from me, because they were used to it. And let me tell you, the worst thing you ever get is someone making decisions for you. They have made decisions for me in life, and I'm regretting. Putting back pieces is one of the hardest things. Because I was so scared. I felt like I was not enough. No, because I needed validation, because of this. And they were actually doing the opposite, torturing you mentally. I reached a point, and by then I was pregnant with my son. He's 10 now. I was pregnant with my son. And then someone told me, it's in Luganda, I'll interpret it. She said, because she found me resting. And she told me, gwe weebake n'omwana alyebaka ku lunaku luli. Someone you don't know, someone who is just a worker at home, tells you that. So it means sleep, and the baby will sleep when the time comes. So I was like, what? What does this even mean? I called some people, I was like, what does this even mean? Let me tell you, God, let me tell you, I won't say the only person, but God has fought battles for me that I can never explain. That's why to me, God comes first, then myself. I don't even say my kids come first, myself, because if I'm sane, I'll be able to take care of them. Not my kids coming first and then I'm there going crazy, destroying my mental health is not where I want it to be. No, myself, I come next. God, then myself, then my kids come next. It was so traumatizing. Someone you don't talk to oftenly, just a mere worker at home, telling you something like that, and everyone laughed. Yes, tell her, da, 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 da. Because they were just disgusted with you being at home as a young mom. So I just knelt down. I said, Lord, I've never prayed this prayer before, but whatever it meant, whether good or bad, I don't want it. Give it back to her. You have no idea what that lady went through. And do you know what? She was also pregnant that very same time. You have no idea what happened to her during while she was giving birth. It was horrible. It was terrible. But it wasn't something that I really wanted. I just spoke. I said, no. People have really said so many negative things about my life. I don't know if they were just intimidated. I don't know if they were just scared. But now I look at a lot of things that I can do, and I'm like, okay, I could actually do this. I remember that time when I had my son, I had prepared batteries. What do they call? Okay, the remote batteries. And I was like, I want to crush them. I even started thinking and making plans. No, if I do it in the morning, the neighbors might find me. Okay, what if I do this? What if I do it at this time? Maybe, but will it be effective? Will it also kill the baby in the womb? I was having a conversation with myself, and I was living alone. I was having a conversation with myself. But it only takes one person to call you and tell you, Eve, I think you're actually going mad. That's enough to destroy you. That's enough. That's why I don't tolerate everything that is said about me. What you give me is what I give you back, because I know how much I've fought to reach where I am, and you're not going to come and destroy it and take me back. I just got a phone call. I had actually prepared them, and then I got a phone call, and it was my counselor from the hospital. I don't know, at that very same time, I got that counselor called me, and we just spoke. And that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I haven't even gone to the hospital to start PMTCT. PMTCT is like a procedure that's done to help you to prevent your baby from contracting HIV. And I hadn't even thought about that. What mattered is, how can I die quickly? So it only took one person, and that person just calls you and tells, oh, how are you? What are you doing? Calmly, trust me. These people come, they are calm, and they will tell you something, it will trigger you. And you know what? They would go back and tell others. I called her just to check on her. She abused me. They told me I abused people. They told me I argued with people. They told me I fought with people, things I've never done. And I think my breaking point was during COVID when we were chased out of the house with my twin sister and our children. And they told us, leave, go. You don't deserve to be here. And that was COVID towards Christmas. It really makes me emotional because it has been God. But then I sat down and everyone started calling me abusing us. How dare you abuse your mom? How dare, that's our mom. How dare you abuse her? But I didn't say anything. I didn't abuse. I didn't do what. But I was like, why do I have to prove to everyone that I didn't do this? I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I told them, yes, whatever she told you is what you should believe. I'm done explaining myself. We closed that chapter and we've been going on so well with our lives. Because I said, you're not going to get in my head. And I know when someone tries to do it, and I prepare myself for it. So you come at me, I tell you, I hope what you're going to tell me is, it's okay, it's good, because the reaction you'll get out of me, you will not like it, because I tolerated so much that it has costed me so many things. So many opportunities that I missed just because of one person telling you one thing. Someone telling you, no, you're HIV positive, you'll never graduate. Why are you even wasting time in school? Get a chalani and start making clothes. And I actually thought, oh, I think that's true. I actually wanted to learn the chalani because, yeah, it is what it is. Someone telling you, no, the air up there, it will, you guys are HIV positive, so you can't really board planes. How? And what is so annoying is these people come and told us at our graduation day, on our graduation ceremony, wow, I knew you would make it. And we're like, okay, well, thank you for your prayers. Because now I don't even have energy. I don't even have the energy to hate you. I don't have the energy to just beef you, because there's so much at stake on my end, and I don't even want to involve myself with you. So I rather distance. And for me, I always have conversations with my team at Coffee with Ivana that I work with on my talk show. I tell them, if you are a negative person, I can't work with you. You're so negative. Everything about you is negative. Oh, this, that. I reached a point and I was having an interview. I'm interviewing a guest. And this person told me, I wish this person was the one interviewing me, some prominent person on NBS. Because the way they ask questions and they got into a conversation, yes, the way they ask questions. And I was just starting by then. And I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. If you don't want to come on the show, don't come. If you want to come, please, you're invited. But I reached a point and I had to set strict boundaries because it is my life. If I break, my kids will suffer in this world. You've shown me your true colors. I understand. I know. And it is what it is. But don't do that. Because I've seen how it has tortured me over the years. I didn't even know that I was depressed until 2 years ago. Trust me, 2 years ago. But this was 2015. I was depressed and I didn't even know that there was a word called depression. What is that? And then people were describing things that are like, wait, that is depression? Do you know how bad it got? It got to a point, actually now, there are some memories that I don't have of my child, especially the way kids latch onto your breast when they're breastfeeding. Those are warm memories every mother would want to have. I don't have those memories. That's how bad it was. But when I look back, I'm like, I'm happy that I went through that. I understand. I now know whom to look out for. And it made me stronger. Because one day my dad mentioned, you're not the nice girl you used to be when you were young. I told him, it's because I changed. I understood the world. I embraced it. And I'm moving on in the new Ivana. It's not that I'm a bad person, guys, but I know when it's time, when you cross the line, no, I don't have that patience. Don't cross the line. don't cross the line, especially when it comes to someone's mental well-being. And I've seen it in high school going children. Bullying, my goodness, I don't tolerate that. And I actually told my son, because there was one day he was also having a bully at one of his schools. And then I talked to the school. My child has reported bullying. Oh, here we don't accept it. Da, da, da. And I was like, well, and we've never had those reports. I was like, I don't care whether you've had the reports. My son has reported it to me. I don't know whether he's lying or not, but he has reported it to me. It doesn't just pop out of someone's head, a young child. He didn't even understand what bullying is. He was like, this person does it, but of course, the pattern, you just realize that this is what bullying is. So I told them, I went and I told him, I told him, if anyone ever bullies you again, warn them the first time, report the second time. If nothing is done, just hit them, beat. Protect yourself at all costs. Protect yourself, because the bullying these days is on another level. Kids get into school with sharp objects. I'm a community advocate, I know what I'm talking about. Kids get into school with sharp objects, and the school will never defend you as a parent. They will always defend the staff, they will always defend whoever. So for me, there are things I don't even sit down and first discuss with people. And I told the school, do you know what? I've given him authority to beat. And when he beat that boy, he never did it again. So it was as simple as just give him a slap. And it was as simple, I don't condone violence. But when it comes to protecting yourself, I know what people go through. I've been in the community. I went to Kenya in Busia, and I met kids who were taking their own lives in P4, P3 primary, 4 primary 3 kids taking their lives in the middle of a class. They put the rope up while others are outside for break, and they put the rope in their neck. You find them there. And then when I went and I asked these kids, some of them who had really overcome it, and I asked them, like, what comes to you? Like, why did you do it? One of them told us that they were beating me a lot in class, my teachers. Others were like, yeah, my other fellow kids were bullying me. And others were like, one told me, I don't have a right to play at home. I come back from school, I just start doing housework up to 6 or 7. Then you have to get in, bathe, then go do your homework and then sleep. Simple, small issues that we underlook as parents or as people in the community. Those were kids. And you ask them, how did it come into your mind that I have to tie this? Because they were like, no, you ask. You know those conversations that kids have, oh, we watched this movie and this person did this. We watched this movie. I've just talked to, I think it was 2 months ago, I've just talked to a P7 student. And she told me, no, I just get a knife, I cut myself. She knows the parts of the body that let out too much blood. And I was like, where did you get this? No, you ask, because she's so brilliant that she was bullied for that. And now, worst of all, she's also HIV positive and has just discovered it. And I asked her, are they bullying you because of your status? She was like, no, they don't even know my status. Then what is wrong? I pass in class. I'm always at the top of the class, but they bully me. And you know what was even funny? Some of the teachers were also behind the bullies. Yes. Is it? Who can we talk to while on set during the times we need mental health assistance? I don't think most of these sets have that. I have never met any. I don't know about you guys. If anyone has, they could suggest. But I would highly suggest to talk to the people in charge, because it also doesn't make sense, like when you talk to a fellow cast member and yet that guys at the top don't even know what's happening. Find someone that you can talk to, even if you cannot talk about something. Find someone you can talk to, or someone who can deliver that message to the people at the top. Because I've never seen, I personally, I don't know, I'm not saying all sets, I've never seen a set that has that. I've only witnessed it in the advocacy world where I've been, that people travel with therapists or psychologists, and then they just talk to you about, you just go and meet them in the corner, talk to them about this and that. But also I understand that they are expensive. They are expensive. And they say they are not. The therapist that I interviewed on my show told me, no, people are just scared because of the name, the word therapist. Therapist. So talk to anyone, talk to me, talk to Brian, talk to whoever. And I hope that the film chat will not only educate us on what we want to achieve as filmmakers, but will also create those safe spaces. And that's why, to me, I felt, yes, we needed to have this conversation. Like, okay, we've learned everything. There's so much to learn, so much to do. But at the end of the day, are you sane? Are you working? Yes, you're working, you're doing something you're passionate about, but do you have someone you just talk to? Of course, we have our fears. When you disclose to this person, they might spread the word to others. But it's always important to have someone, just one person to confide in. For me, it took me I needed just one person to believe in me. One person. That person wasn't myself because I wasn't believing in myself, but one person told me, you can do this. And then I actually did a survey. I told them, I sent a message to not all the contacts, but most of the people that are close to me. And I told them, what do you think I'm good at? And they told me things that I didn't even think I could do. So have those people, talk to people. If you know Brian, you've been friends with Brian, talk to him, Brian. What do you think I'm really good at? What do you think I am? Like, when you look at me, what do you think I'm good at? And when they told me, and most of the people, like, 20 people will tell you the same thing over and over again. And it's something you've never tried out, but the way you speak or the way you appear or the way you do things, it shows them that, no, Eva is good at this. And do you know what I did? I started getting deeper into educating myself on those particular things to better myself at them. And it has helped me because I was so lost, so lost in this world. And I was like, what do I really want to do? Who is Eva? What is my purpose? And I'm happy that the three things that I mentioned are the things that are so dear to me. I love to act. I love to sing. And I do love my talk show because it's the platform, that only space I can give people to just put out whatever they want to put out. So for me, once they told me, you're good at it, I put together like, okay, so what can I do? And I stopped focusing on the things that I can't control. Things that I can't control, I don't even waste my time on them. Someone also mentioned, so if anyone has anyone they know that you could talk to, I also have a therapist that I could inquire from, like, because her specialty is more about relationships, marriage, because that's where she has been. And I think that's why I really love her so much. She has gone through it herself, so she will advise you accordingly. But I could still inquire and then share numbers or contacts of people you can talk to, people you can just share. But I would highly recommend just find someone in your circle that you can just come and talk to. There is a solution for everything. We just don't see it because we are so focused on what is going on. I remember one day we were having an argument with someone. We were demanding her our money, and then we were like, this person doesn't want to pay us our money, and she's accusing us of this and this. She was just making up a very funny story. So then my dad calls and he was like, oh, I've heard that there's this problem. And then he told me, Eva, 100,000. Don't let that person get to you. It's just 100,000. And by then, like, I was really, really struggling. Yes, I'm not saying I'm rich now, but I was really, really badly off. And then when I look back at that situation, I'm like, it was just 100,000. Someone doesn't want to pay back my 100,000. Didn't want to pay back my 100,000. And right now I can hold 300. I can hold, on a good day, maybe a 1M, an 800. And it was just 100,000. Someone was just going to make me go crazy because of 100,000. And I look back and I'm like, oh God, thank you so much for the spirit of discernment, So talk to someone. Talk to someone. Let me tell you, I'm a twin. I have my twin sister, but there are certain things I can't tell my twin. For example, things to do with acting. She doesn't understand what that is. It's not like her area of interest, but she just loves watching finished products like on Pearl Magic Prime. But it's not something, you can just be there and say, oh, on set. Yes, you talk to her, she'll advise you, and she'll feel sorry for you, but she will not really understand it the same way a fellow filmmaker would understand it. So I have specific people in acting that I can talk to, and they're not therapists, they're friends. And I also have certain people in maybe my music career that I talk to. I have certain people as a podcaster that I talk to. And they're also friends who I just don't even talk to about anything. And I learned that because sometimes I was so overly worked with, you're my friend, you don't, I can't tell you this, you can't advise me on this. But then I understood that the friends that you have who you talk to about business are not the friends that you're going to talk to about hanging out. They are friends I talk to and I'm like, girls, would you like to hang out today? Yes. But you will never talk about business because they have nothing to tell you. And it's okay. I learned to show grace. It's okay. If it's relationships, I know the friends I talk to. And they are not the ones for business or they are not the ones for hanging out. It is okay. Let us not put people on a pedal, expect them to do so much. Because you as an individual, how many friends of yours talk to you about everything that goes on in their lives? And to me, I would feel so bad. Like, I can't even talk to you about this. You don't understand this. I'm trying to explain this. It would just, because I want you to be that person. But then I realized, no, it is not her area. But when you talk to them about relationships, they will give you the best advice. When you talk to them about finances, it's bad. It's bad. And then their friends you will just talk to about, you know what? Sometimes we just have some lugambo. Oh, you know what happened here? This happened. And they're just good at listening. And their friends who will just
Excuse me,
also,
Vanna. I think you have a hand for Finley that is raised. Maybe you could say
yeah,
something. But before he comes in, we have about 20 minutes to go. I wanted
yeah,
us to talk about. There are two things I sent in the chat. The first thing is about who do we talk to on set,
yeah.
especially when we find mental health challenges. And then two, there's something that Fred shared in a group earlier today about audience
Mm.
reaction. Why is it that in Africa people tend to laugh at things that about death and violent, and yet maybe it's supposed to be the emotion is supposed to be different. So let us talk about those two issues before we can wind up the discussion. But first, I
Yeah.
think Finn has something to say. His hand's been up for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. So there's a filmmaker friend of mine who sometimes back shared to me a link of an online therapy session. It's called Overcome, I think. I'll share the link to the group. So it's just I think it's an NGO. It's free therapy sessions that you can book and have online, especially for creatives. And I've tried one of the sessions. It was really nice, and I intend to book other sessions. So I think could be a nice resource for
Oh,
people
that's
to
good.
explore.
Yeah, please share it in the group when we are done. That's a very nice
With
one. Thank you so much. And maybe anyone else who would like to share which kind of help that they would recommend, or what do you do if, for example, you as the individuals, what do you do when you find yourself in such situations? How do you handle them? Maybe that could also help.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I failed to raise my hand up. I've been looking for
It's
the
okay.
emoji and I can't seem to find it
Network, you
anywhere.
can find it. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Robbie. We can hear you. Oh, I think she went off. Can you guys hear her?
no.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, now you can. Okay, okay. So, Ivana, I was just thanking you for sharing your story with us. I know it doesn't change anything, but I would still love to extend my sympathies to you for all that you've gone through. And we thank God that you've made it to the finish line and you're better, you have healed. and you're helping other people heal.
Yes.
There is a gentleman that spoke about finances as a challenge, and everything. We are trying to have this discussion around the film industry, but I feel like when it comes to mental health, it's a very personal thing that everyone struggles with in whichever field you're in. I personally come from a catering background. I used to work in service, and there is a lot of mental issues we deal with when we are in service to other people, because then they're kind of like on an upper level. When a customer tells you a certain thing, you're forced to, like, a customer is always right. I cannot talk to them like this. I cannot talk to them like this. But then when you come back on set, one thing I always tell myself, if I've been hired to do a job, it's because I can actually do the job.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
first and foremost, we need to do a self-awareness checkup. Look at yourself and ask yourself personal questions about yourself, so that when someone attacks your self-esteem, you know yourself. You cannot tell me that if I'm not doing a good job, tell me in a proper way and I'm going to change. I remember one time when I joined Sanyu, I remember getting there because it was my first TV show. And when I got there, it seemed like, because I joined in the 4th season and I get on set, had been sent the script like the previous night, and then I had to shoot it. I did not have so many of my lines, but I knew what I was going to do. And I got there, I was nervous, I was panicking, but then I just kept on telling myself, Robbie, they called you for a reason. So just do whatever you've prepared. But the pressure goes on, and some of us who really want to deliver, sometimes the pressure gets too much. And a director told me, when you get frustrated, I can see it. So I was like, okay. And she's like, it's okay. If you don't have the lines right now, it's okay. But when you get frustrated, I say it. And I told her, okay, what can I do? How can I be better? And she said, just forget and be. Like, if you're frustrated, deal with it on the inside. Do not show it to anyone that you're frustrated, because everyone around you is going to see that, you know what, you're frustrated. If the other actor doesn't have their lines and you've done your prep work, but the other person is not pulling the rope on their side, it frustrates you, because you may just do 20 takes because one person is not getting that shit right. And you're like, what were they doing? Why did they not do the work? Because I did the work, and now you're making us spend a whole day on set because you could not read your lines. That would frustrate you in a scene, but you have to learn to deal with it so that you
Wow.
don't mess up everyone around you. And also, we have to learn that it's not your job to make sure the other person is doing their job.
Mhm.
It's not. And then when it comes to finances, someone is talking about finances. Banange, we need someone to teach us filmmakers financial literacy.
Yeah.
We are
Very
very
important.
poor at handling finances. Even the best actors that you see, the best working actors that you see, are actually poor in real life. Not because they don't have the money, but because when they get the money, then they have a certain status that they want to prove to people. And then they have to maintain this status that they've put themselves to. So they end up working to maintain a certain kind of living. Someone is telling you, oh, okay, now I'm on Pal Magic, so I cannot take a border, I cannot take a taxi. I have to order an Uber every day. And then 1 year down the road, the character has been killed off the show, and they're calling you for money for a commando.
Wow.
So as much as we want to blame other people for our mental health issues, as filmmakers, we have to also look at ourselves. Me, I've always told people, man, do a reality check. Do a reality check. As much as you want to live as a celebrity, can you afford it? If you do not have work, do whatever you have to survive. I'm turning 32. If I start naming the jobs that I've done, someone would be surprised. Because personally, I do not know how to ask for help. So I try my best to put myself in a situation where I don't have to call people for money. Do the job, set up a small business somewhere. Do not be, we have this thing whereby we think just because people know us, because they've seen us on TV, they actually do care about how we live our lives. People don't. They have their own shit to deal with, and so do we. But for us, we would rather die in the house in a Muzigo somewhere than set up a chapati stall and make a living. I don't know if we're just scared of the hustle. So let's look into ourselves. If you have to survive at a certain moment, there is no work in the industry, find work outside the industry. If you get a good gig in the industry and the money is good, invest it somewhere so that when the project is done, whatever investment you've put out there can support you as you wait for another project to come. And then let's just stop comparing ourselves to other people. Man, the struggle is different for everyone. People are going to bypass you. Some of the people that we are comparing ourselves to, like, they've had things handed to them on a silver spoon. And for you, you've struggled your whole life. Like, you've been hustling ever since you started understanding what money is. You've literally been hustling. And now you're comparing yourself to someone who receives a paycheck every month from their family just for keep up. You're comparing yourself to someone who received a car for a birthday. And you're like, oh, so and so is driving at 20. And define what success is for you. Don't stress yourself. I'm now 30. I do not have this. I do not have this. Is it really that important for you? Because some of the things are they're just wants, things that, they give us a certain kind of fulfillment, but they do not really make us that happy. They don't really fulfill your soul. So ask yourself certain questions. What is success for me? What is it? Is it having like a big mansion? Is it being on TV every day? Is it earning a certain amount of money? Or is it just me having peace of mind? Is it just me doing things that make me happy? Is it just me having people that love me in my life? And then, like Ivana said, have boundaries, because people are going to try you. People are going to try you. But also understand yourself. Not every battle is supposed to be fought. Some people are stupid and you have to treat them that way, plain. Yeah, some people are. So you have to look at certain things and you're like, okay, this person just said this, but probably it's because they have porridge for brains. And you move on, you walk away from that. You've just saved yourself from an argument. You've just saved yourself from saying something that you cannot take back. But also have people in your life that you can talk to. For me, one thing that I've always done now, like they've said, mental health issues on set. As in Uganda, I don't think we've gotten there yet, because even speaking of mental health as a thing is still very new. People are just picking it up. Like, personally, I cannot tell my family that I'm depressed. Like, about what? But there are things that get to you. And then as women, that's why I said you have to do a self-awareness checkup. As women, I realized every time I'm about to reach, I'm about to get into my periods, I get really cracky, I get really sad, and anything will piss me off. So when I realized that this is a pattern, because I had started telling myself, Robbie, you're depressed, Robbie, you're depressed. And then I realized once my period hits, my hormones go back to normal. So when that period comes, like in the middle of the month, and I'm getting cracky, I'm like, okay, this is happening because something is happening with my body. So I know when someone pisses me off, I know how to control myself because there is nothing personal there. If I'm sad, I know maybe I just need to call a friend that is going to make me laugh and forget. But also, let's not be ashamed of things that get us depressed. Let's not be ashamed. It's very normal for you to be sad. It's very normal for you to have pain. It's very normal for you to feel like things have delayed in your life. Do not be ashamed to speak to someone about it.
Yeah.
Find
True.
someone who understands. Find someone who listens and does not judge. Find someone actually who knows the struggle. Like for us who have hustled, we know things fuse. So find someone within that mental state and they will not judge you. Anyway, I don't know if I've answered any question.
You have. Thank you so much, Robbie.
Thank
you so
you.
much. I think you talked about doing a self-awareness check. It is one of the hardest things, like sitting down and talking to yourself that, okay, Ivana is this, Ivana is this, Ivana is this. That's why to me, I sat down and I did that. And I know my weaknesses, I know my strengths. So when you come and start telling me about, hey, you do this, I am aware of it. And it's okay. So it's like someone coming and telling me, that's why you're HIV positive. It's okay. I mean, you're not the first to tell me. I'm aware. I am. I know. I don't need more. I don't need you to remind me that more. I know. So that is very important. Sit down. And for me, I do that a lot. Like, especially if I've had maybe an argument with someone, I sit down and say, okay, who was I wrong? Was I not? Okay, maybe here I was wrong. And I acknowledge it. And trust me, I will apologize. So let us learn that. And when you talked about being on set and then they're telling you to deal with that inner pain, that, yes, I agree with it 50-50 because we've also had people, the way, Robbie, you have gone through your own mental health challenges and now you've built the muscle strength to deal with it. There is someone who can't even do that. There's someone who will just go, get pills, end their life. And then you ask them, okay, what happened? But the solution was near, but they didn't have that time. So deal with it, but also we need to, as the I call them the producers, okay, the main guys, the bosses. We need to really create an environment that is favorable for everyone. We have roles that we act. For example, I watched The Joker. I think that is one of the movies that just stands out so much. I watched Taraji. She's my best actress. The way she just switches into roles. The recent one of Tyler Perry. Like how you just act something that you're not and you put so much psychological, you just use so much of yourself. And then someone just comes and tells you, hey, you're not doing this. Just suck it up, deal with it internally. But you're putting so much psychologically, emotionally. Because as actors, we put so much. Those are things that cannot be repaid back by not even money. Because once I wake up and I'm mentally distorted, the money you've paid me on your set will not even be enough to fix me back. So one, like you mentioned, let us learn to speak, of course, respectfully. I was on a set, you've reminded me, I was on a set, and the director was directing me. So we happened to have two people in that room. One was called Nakato, and I was also acting as Nakato. Yet, of course, my real name is Nakato. So when they called Nakato, Nakato, action, because it was a bit fast, I couldn't hear, but they had to say, Nakato, action. So as I was coming into the set, that girl came. It was a house help of that place. She came storming in, yes, auntie. And then the wife of the director, it was actually, that was the climax. The wife to the director came and backed at me and embarrassed me. What are you doing? I put everything down and I told the director, you are my friend, respectfully, please tame your wife. Never, I told the lady, never speak to me in that manner, ever again. Like I've worked with you guys for the longest time. This the fact that she was on set that day and she backed at me in front of everyone, everyone had to look, what have I done? But I was just doing what I'm supposed to do. I told her, never. Today, I'm being respectful because of your husband. Next time, I don't think I will have the patience. Please, let's learn to respect each other. Trust me, to this day, she respects me. She gives me the respect that I deserve. But if I hadn't opened up, because she wasn't doing it to any other person, it was me. Why? I had a minor role. Secondly, that was, I think, the first time we were meeting. I said, no, this is too much. Why would you back at me? Why would you back at me in front of people? I told them, please, respectfully, let us learn to respect each other. Okay, this is the person that gives me the orders, not you. You are his wife. You don't come in and start directing me unless he has told you to do so. I had to make it out there. And after I had a conversation with him and he understood, he said, I'm sorry that happened, but I told him it's okay. I just had to put it out there. And what I did, I made sure I'm not, well, I'm just giving my experience. I made sure I did it in front of the entire crew because if I had done it behind closed doors, it wouldn't really make more meaning to me. Like you're embarrassing me in front of everyone. And the next time I meet another crew member from this production onto another production, they will treat me the same way. So I told her, please don't do that ever again. Today I'm very respectful. The next time I don't even think I'll have the patience. Let's learn to keep our boundaries. So speaking up is very, 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 very important. And everything else that you've talked about. Yes, people are giving their suggestions. Men. Oh, men. I think I really feel for men. Men are so quiet when it comes to mental health challenges that they go through. I hope we have spaces where they can open up. Because in Africa, okay, not especially in Uganda, but in Africa, like we know men you have to show that you are a man. It doesn't, like you need to have someone to talk to. These days, it's actually the men who are having the most mental health challenges. Can we talk about Fred, something that Fred wrote on the group that really caught our attention? There was a clip that he shared, and I think he will be in position to also just enlighten on it. There was a clip that was shared. He shared it was a play. It was a beautiful play. And then the lady, I think, was cheating on the husband. Then the husband was a soldier in the army. So he returns, he finds the lady with another man. Then he shoots the lady, but after he shot himself. So the audience laughed. And for him, that was his concern. He says, why do we always, like, why is it exciting when bad things happen, especially here in Africa? And yes, I agree. Like some certain things happen and we are very happy. We've seen, especially when it comes to body shaming, how women body shame each other. And then men come under the comment section and they're like, actually, it's the women who are body shaming each other. It's the women who are bullying other women. So I would like Fred to just talk about that, just to give us more insights on that. And also other people have something to say about it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. No, so the reason why I reacted was because actually last year I did a show on the National Theatre or at the National Theatre called The Love List. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's a stage play about a relationship. So it was me and I was acting next to Helen Lukoma. And before you do a stage play on the National Theatre, you have to let somebody read your script and they go through it and then they have to green light it. So that was my first concern because people reacted on when the couple were saying the F words to each other's. Like they were really, it's about a couple and they have relationship issues. So they end up saying the F words to each other's. So now National Theatre and the commission that reads the scripts told me like you can't have that. You need to remove those words. But if you read the full script, my character was dragging Helen Lukoma's character like to the floor, pushing her down, slapping her, like even punching her. Nobody reacted to that. But I kept the F words anyway because they had a specific task in the script because the character said it in anger. But every time I was beating the female character, the audience were laughing. They were like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And there's also a part where it seems like she's been cheating, and people were like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You get? So that's when I was started to see those patterns. And then when I saw this clip from Nigeria, I was like, let's talk about this. Yeah, that's it. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I
Yeah.
actually watched the Love List, but I don't think I laughed when bad things happen.
Okay.
But I attended, I think, one of them at National Theatre. And
Mhm.
I do agree. I do agree. I think people are so soaked up in the moment, maybe.
Mhm.
That's what I think. I don't know why. Brian, you could insights on that, but I think they're so invested in the play.
Mhm.
That's what I think. I have really nothing much to really say about why they do it, but it's
Mm.
a very good observation. It's a very good observation.
Okay, yeah.
Does anyone
So,
have something to say about it? Yes, please. Fred, please proceed.
yeah. So I tried to do some research. Obviously, I asked ChatGPT, and according to ChatGPT, it's all about like African behavior in the theater, that when you do a stage play in Africa, it's like a dialogue between the actors and the audience. Like the audience are talking to the characters. So in the moment when the guy shot the woman, it's like a release of like a resolution in the in that kind of plot. Like she cheated, the audience is tensed, what is gonna happen? He shot her. So now it's just a reaction. You just uh, like the African audience just need to make some kind of sound, and it just happened to be laughter and screaming. Like, did you see? I don't know. That's what ChatGPT is saying. Like, it's just a release of like resolution.
Mhm.
Yeah, of tension.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Can I say
much.
something?
Yes, please. But I don't know
Yeah,
who is. Is it
it's
Brian?
Finley.
Okay, yes, please.
Yeah, a bit on that theater and Africans. I think it correlates, but a little bit of what I've observed. There was a time I was also performing a play, and there's a part of a physical, like gender-based violence. So I was playing this male character, and he was beating his wife. So a little bit of what I've observed is that at that moment, the ladies would kind of like um, shout to the actor, and like they're not pleased with what the actor is doing, the character that is. So like they their feeling is that this should stop, because they are seeing and feeling how the female character is suffering because of being beaten. But the guys are like they're not like being angered by this. They're almost happy because the male character is doing it so good. Yeah, so that's what I've observed. It's a bit funny to that extent, and I think it correlates to what he has said. Like the audience has to make some kind of noise. They're participating in the play as well.
Yeah. Even I see Simon, Simon Agula had raised his hand. Maybe Simon, you cannot meet and tell us.
Hi everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. Do you
Yes,
guys hear me?
yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I have something to share um, in relation to really. Ivana, you talked about men and if there are spaces. Sorry, guys, let me share mine now because I have to run. I'm going somewhere, I'm going on set. But I remember from my experience at the beginning of this year, Brian, for you can relate, and the people who are in MTF. When we came back after spending a whole year away from the country and coming back was very tough, and the industry welcoming us, a lot of different things are happening there. However, for me, Jan, Feb, and March, when we came back, was a very rough month for me. I went through a time of depression, like terrible depression. I stayed in the house. I could not even open up to any of my friends at all. Like no one knew what was going on in my life. I remember I'm a person, I'm a very friendly person. For those who know me, um, but I have a lot of friends, and let me tell you, at that point, I didn't have anyone in my life at that point. That's when I was like, you know what? I don't have actually friends. I don't have brothers, like people I call my bros. I don't have them because no one called me to check on me. Everyone was actually judging me and telling me, "Hey, Simon, man, you came back. You came back. You've never checked us, checked up on us. You've climbed another level. You don't want to associate with us." Everyone was judging me, and then my best friend, the ones I call my brothers, never tried to reach out, and then on the other side, they were busy judging me for not reaching out to them. And so I was asking myself, so you who is telling me I'm not reaching out to you, have you tried to reach out to me to know how I am? So I closed myself in there. I remember it was really a very bad time and terrible time. But um, coming back to my point about mental health spaces, I think each and every one of us needs to discover a mental health space where they can go to. Like, okay, a group, a neutral group that you can go to and talk and open up. A good example is for the men, and this one I'll put it out for the men. I have an organization I discovered in my journey of depression in those 3 months. I discovered an organization called the Dad Base. And the Dad Base basically focuses it's a Christian organization for men, and it focuses on authentic conversations about men, fatherhood, healing, and all those things. However, I discovered that organization, and the first day I went, there's a session we usually have every Tuesday at the organization premises from 2 to 5, and it's called the man-to-man corner, like man-to-man corner. And the biggest question they ask in that session is, how are you? Like we need to normalize
Yeah.
that question. How are you? Not the
Yeah.
casual, how are you? I'm fine, but how are you? And let me tell you, I remember that day I sat down in that session. I never knew anyone among these men who were sitting in this session. I just came and sat down, and everyone was sharing what they were going through, whatever, like when they were pouring out whatever trash was going through them, and people were not judging. Like no one was judging the other. People were listening, and they're like, "Hey man, we are with you." Like when I heard what others were going through, I was like, "Yo, I'm actually not alone."
Yeah.
People are going through shit. Actually, so whatever I heard from them encouraged me to actually uh open up also. And I shared. Let me tell you, when I shared that day, I remember going back home that day with a very, very, very light heart. Very light heart.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
that was the beginning of my healing journey. That was the beginning of my
Mhm.
healing journey, and it helped me just cool down. Right now, I'm working a journey with this organization, and I've been able to actually they have been able to send me out to communities. These days, there's a day we went for and just talk to kids with addiction, to these rehabilitation centers, men, and we're just going out there. And every time I go out there to give back to community, or every time I invite my fellow men friends to come for this session at the dad base, like every time they come and they are so fulfilled, they are so encouraged, they are so relieved of whatever they are going through. I feel good because I'm making an impact, and this organization has really, really, really helped me. And like for me, the thing I loved about it is no one is judging you, you know.
It's
And then
judging,
now
true.
for us as Christians, I was also looking for a place that helps me ground me deep into faith, you know. It has helped people walk the journey of fatherhood, you know, men who have had father wounds, you know, and a lot of those things. So that is one of the organizations that has really done a good job about that, you know, and it
Yeah.
welcomes anyone. So my encouragement to every one of you here is one, there are women organizations that are out there. There are men organizations that are out there.
Amen.
Find one in your community, in your society, that you can attach yourself to. If you can't, come to the database, especially for the men, or I will actually do some research. I'll ask a bit of my guys and see if there are the female versions of the database that are out there that I can be able
The
to share for
mom
them.
best.
Like, yeah, because they
It's
really
important. Yeah.
very important.
Thank you
So
so
everyone of
much.
you, if you don't have a person, sometimes it's hard for you to confide in one person, but when you find a group, it helps you see that, opens your mind that you are not alone in this, and you have a support group to help you. And this, because these brothers are also intentional about checking up on the other. You see, in the season where my friends were not checking up on me, the dad-based people were checking up on me. They were calling and like, "Hey Simon, man, how are you doing? How are things?" You know, that way, it helped me come back to my senses and regain myself. You know, so yeah, that is what I felt I needed to share. And if anyone has any organization that they have interfaced with and it has helped you, please don't get skip.
Let them
Just
share
share
them
with
in the
us.
groups. It's very important to
Yeah,
share them in groups so that everyone
yeah,
can be able to
yeah.
reach them. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes, thank you.
Um, I also know one is called Golden Voice Foundation. It's also strictly for men. So men, there is help out there. There is help. There's so much help out there. I just request everyone who has maybe someone that people can talk to, a therapist, an organization, please share this important information in the group. I want us to really get done with the session because it's past our time, but I just had a few questions that I want us to ask ourselves when you go back home or you're already home after the session. This, you should ask yourself, how has today felt like for you? What part of the creative work brings you the most joy? What part of the work you do brings you the most joy? And how would you describe mental health when it comes to other filmmakers and then to yourself? Because now we have understood what mental health challenges look like. What does that pressure to constantly create, how does that pressure to constantly create affect you? Sometimes we put ourselves in a box and we're like, we have to get that, we need to be creative. We need to be up, like, the other guys that we look up to. So if you've ever felt like that burnout, if you've ever felt like you've lost passion for your craft, what could have triggered that? Also, you need to be aware of what triggers you. There are environments that are 100% toxic, and you can never thrive in those environments. And for me, once I spot them, I know which environment I can thrive in and which environment I can't. And some I'm like, no, I cannot even dare step in there because I don't want to take chances. So let us have the self-awareness, like how Robbie described. Have the self-awareness. And also, why are you doing the thing that you're doing? Who are you doing the filmmaking for? Why are you into it? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for your kids? Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it to achieve a goal? You have to go back to the drawing board. Why did you start? That will always bring you back to, it will always remind you of the vision behind it. I'm going to post it in the group, Golden Voice Foundation. Yeah, so let me just end with a closing message. This will be shared with you. Let's break the stigma around mental health in African filmmaking. Your mental health well-being matters, and seeking help is a sign of strength. Take care of yourself, support your colleagues, and let's create a healthier, more resilient filmmaking community in Africa, because it starts with us. With us. We can turn this space into a safe space. a learning platform, but a safe space. I know the sessions are almost getting done, but it can still be the safe space that we are all looking for. Help is there. It will not find you if you don't ask for it. Trust me. We need another session. We will definitely have. That's if Brian agrees, of course. But thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. I love sharing my experience, and I hope you guys have been inspired by it. And please pass on the message and know that you are not alone. I love listening to people's stories. I love listening challenges, and I love inspiring people because I've been there. So I'll give you advice that I think would work, but the decision making should always come from you. Thank you so much. And Brian, maybe you could close the session. Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Lastly, I will
Excuse me,
also say I
again,
want to share with
up
you
to
guys.
Ivana, like we normally do, just share some emojis on the screen just to appreciate her for her time, guys. Before you leave, please just put an emoji, a heart, a thumbs up, anything just to appreciate us, Ivana, for your time and really sharing with us something to do about mental health. And again, this is something that you've done for quite some time during your podcasts on YouTube that you have, Ivana, that you normally have on YouTube. But I encourage you guys to really check out the podcasts and on the YouTube channel that she has.
Called Coffee with
Once
Ivana.
again, yes.
It's called Coffee with Ivana.
Yes, coffee with Ivana. Yes, yeah. I thinking of coffee, some coffee talk, but yeah, it is coffee with Ivana.
Coffee with
Yeah,
Ivana.
thank you so much, Ivana.
Thank you,
Guys, I think you
Brian.
can see the issue of mental health is basically upon us. The one thing that I really picked from this session is the idea of failure to manage our finances, which actually causes the biggest mental health to creatives. You can have a gig, you get some money, but then the expenditures may go beyond what you planned. We don't budget enough. So I think the session that we should really think of having is, I don't know if someone from us here can really volunteer to come and lead us in a session on financial management. Like, what is really the issue causing the financial mismanagement? We look rich on social media, but in person we are so broke, we are so poor. Why? And yet we earn more than these other people. A creative can earn like in Ugandan shillings close to 1 million in a day, and they're working for 5 days. Yeah, and then that is amount of money that someone can earn maybe for about 2 or 3 months. So we need to really check into our finances, which is also one thing that is leading us to depression most of the times. So we pray that we have uh, a time whereby creatives will not have the issue of mental health and really breaking down because they have no one to talk to. We've been told that we can talk to our own friends, we can talk to our own the people we feel safe with. We don't have to talk to so many like groups and things like that, but people we feel safe with are the first people you can talk to. So, and I feel like film
Yeah.
chat is a safe space where we can always talk to each other. I like the idea of Fred coming up with something that he saw, or rather he experienced, and then he came to talk about it. Why are we laughing on real things that emotionally supposed to break us as Africans? Yeah, that was really something that really also touched me. When an African is watching a movie scene and is violent, they are going to love it. Why is it that we love the violence and then out there, the violence, people look at it with maybe sort of fear and the feel that the filmmaker wants to make. Yeah. But to us, violence is comedy. Why is it comedy to us? Why are we not supposed to feel certain way? Why the filmmaker made that? I really thought that was a good discussion for us to talk about. Once again, Ivana, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much
Brian,
for your
Brian, I just
yes.
wanted to just something small when you were talking. There is something I teach my kids. I have one biological child and a nephew and a niece, but I tell them learn to be your brother's keeper, learn to be your sister's keeper. When you notice a filmmaker who is going through something and they cannot speak up, let's normalize asking, like somebody said, how are you? It shouldn't just be, hey, how are you? Oh, did you sleep well? Okay. how are you? That's what I always do when I am meeting my crew. Before we start anything, how are you? I ask them, how are you, Brian? How are you? Like, how are you? Because sometimes not everyone is really will feel comfortable talking about everything. But if you notice it, try to be the safe space immediately. Don't wait for them to approach you. Don't say, they didn't approach me. I saw it, but I didn't ask. Try to be, at least let them refuse to tell you, but try to show them that I'm here. Yeah, just be your brother's keeper.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry to
everyone.
interject a bit. I cannot raise my hand. I've totally failed to do that. I wanted to contribute to what Ivana is saying. As much as we want to support people, as much as we want to be there for people, we are in a community. I believe most of these things are because of our identity as Africans. We are people who do not talk about things that suppress us. We suppress our feelings and then we just deflect in certain ways. As much as I want you to open up to me, if you cannot ask for help, I cannot give you that help. So instead of us telling people to be your brother's keeper, let people open up. Let people open up. Ask for help if you need help. I do not know what help you need if you don't ask for it. This is why most people who die of depression, everyone is like, he was so happy. He's always so happy. He's always so cheerful. Because we know how to cover it up. So people around you will not know how to help because you do not ask for the help. So me, I feel like we should be telling people it's okay to ask for help. Ask for help. And if you do not get the help, it's okay. Move on to the next person until you get someone who listens to you. Don't be ashamed when you're rejected. If I come and tell you, I'm going through this, and you turn me down and you laugh over my pain, it's okay. I move on to the next person who is going to listen, but let's ask for help because no one is going to give you help that you don't ask for.
Yeah, thank you, Robbie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Another thing is that yes, last one from my side. Everybody just take time to pray for my father because currently he's from ICU right now, so I'm just going shit right now. So currently I'm in the hospital right now. Joining this meeting, I'm from the hospital. So just pray. Your prayers are very, very important in this moment.
Oh, so sorry, dear. Quickest recoveries.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as a creative, I have also to balance projects with family issues. So it's very well. But yeah, it is what it is.
So sorry about that, Isaiah. Sorry about that. You are one of the people that are always on the chat, even amidst challenges. Really, we pray that really God can strengthen you amidst this hard time. Push quick recovery. Yeah. So guys, I think Ivana, you can lead us in a closing prayer, and then we call it a session for today.
All right. Thank you, Brian. And thank you, everyone, for joining and listening. Kind and loving Father, we thank you for such a wonderful session. We thank you for the knowledge, the insights, the advice, and just understanding that we have a community of people who are willing to just stand by us. Sometimes it doesn't take, you don't need a family. We don't need family members. Sometimes we don't need closest friends, but we just need people who are true, who truly want to listen to us. And we thank you for your Holy Spirit. May it guide everyone here. May it help everyone going through different challenges, mental health challenges, physical challenges, emotional challenges. May your Spirit hover over them and cover them. Give us the knowledge to do what we do, but give us also the love and the passion and the happiness to do it confidently so that we are not taken back by everything, all the challenges that we have discussed. We cover ourselves in the blood of Jesus Christ tonight as we are going to sleep with our families and on our projects. Everything that we are going to do, we surrender it in your hands. And may you protect everyone who has joined this session and all those that will listen to it in the future. May they be inspired. In Jesus' name I prayed and I believe. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. See you next
Likewise.
week.
Have a good night.